How's it going, old schoolers? You're kicking it, old school Russell J.S, and I am your host, Russell J.S. As you can see, I am wearing a Pantera t-shirt. I can't believe you can consider that band old school, and I'm wearing AC/DC socks. Today, I thought I'd go ahead on an old school adventure. We're here in Fort Myers, Florida, where I came across this place called Fast Tracks Entertainment, Fort Myers, Florida. Now, of course, the entryway has signs that say do not enter. It says private property, no loitering, no dumping, no trespassing, or will be prosecuted. But you know what? I am standing on a public sidewalk. I remember this place opened, I think, 20 years ago. And then I guess, that would be like 2006. So it's 2026. So yeah, 20 years ago. But the thing is, after a couple years, it closed down. It's been standing here ever since. And look at that. Since the hurricane had hit us, the sign was ripped and those LED lights are still lighting up. So without further ado, let's check this bad Oscar out, shall we? Now, since I can't get on the property because of a no trespassing, I could walk on this public sidewalk and just get a good view of the place. God, I guess after a couple years, this place closed down because the economy did tank after a while. And this place has not been opened ever since. It's got mini golf, arcade, bumper boats, sports bar. I think it had a go-kart track too. But yeah, I mean, over the palm trees and the bushes there, you could see, what is a track for a roller coaster. For the young ones, of course. But other than that, you got this moat. I guess you can call it a moat or a ditch. We're walking on a public sidewalk here. But look at it, they got these classic rides. Like, look at that roller coaster track right there. To me, this is very reminiscent of a lot of the Jersey Shore amusement parks I used to go to with my folks when I was a little kid, like Seaside Heights and Point Pleasant and Wildwood. In the background, I think you can see an old merry-go-round. And I think over there you can see where there could be a go-kart track. And right there, you can see right there in the building where it's used to say beer, food, and wine. Very interesting, this place is up for sale, looks like. But yeah, this place has been sitting here forever. They never tore it down. They never made anything of it. And here we are, we're approaching the Elitran bus stop. Who'd want to sit at that best bus bench and bake in the sun? Yeah, whoever that is. Country club specialist, okay. But yeah, you would think, if they would have kept this place open, we could have another Kissimmee, like Kissimmee South. If you ever go like on US Highway 192 and you got all the attractions and the gift shops just adjacent to Walt Disney World, we could put Fort Myers more and more on the map. And look, it is up for sale. If anybody is interested in buying, go ahead and call Bev Larson at Liana Realty. It's just amazing, I can remember this being all fields and swamps and everything. I got to walk back to my car to road trip because I had to park all the way to that shopping center where that Dollar Tree is. Like I said, where I'm standing used to be nothing but open fields. Now you got shopping centers. There's a Sherwin-Williams paint store, an Indian Creek Pet Hospital, and now we're making our way over to the Dollar Tree where Road Trip is parked. There's a Tommy's Express car wash over there. Those condos never used to be there, but they're there. Yeah, so it's just amazing. You would have think that something like that, they would have gone ahead and, rebuilt it already. Put some family fun in there. Kind of like a boardwalk amusement park you would find on the East Coast, like in Coney Island or New Jersey. But they left it sitting there in ruins for some time. And now it's up for sale, so I just showed you a shot of the realtor's billboard there. Give them a call. See if you want to go ahead, come out here. If you don't live in the Fort Myers, Florida area, come out here, make a deal. Maybe put an old school family entertainment place there. Revamp it, huh? We need that kind of stuff in Lee County. I'm right now back in Road Trip. I had to walk half a mile. So I had to walk half a mile just to get to that destination and half a mile back to the Dollar Tree parking lot. So when you think about it, I walked a mile just to film. And I'm swinging you around while I put on my seatbelt. So yeah, just think, I walked a mile. Yeah, I got some exercise there, Pack the Man. Yep, Pack the Man is hanging out there with Big the Foot. That's my little tribute to Adam the Woo right there, having Big the Foot hanging with Pac-Man, literally. Yeah, it's a nice day on Saturday. It's, 82 degrees out. We're expecting some chilly weather to come soon, but hey, whatever will happen, will happen. Right now it's perfect beach weather and it's January. I know a lot of you are, probably from elsewhere in the world and a little bit jealous you're snowed in, but what can I say? Come down to Florida then, have yourself a good time. Almost year round. I mean, don't be fooled by what they say. It's not year-round you could spend at the beach in your bikinis and your trunks. We do have our share of cold fronts down here. But, yep. There it is. An actual modern relic of the past. Fast Tracks Entertainment. Family entertainment. I always thought about going there, but I didn't have the money to do so. Plus, I was with a woman who was constantly spending money. A lot of people bicycling. They're bicycling, they're walking, and I'll tell you what, it felt good to go ahead and go out there and walk a mile to and fro. I got right there my chilled, canned, carbonated, caffeinated beverage. I had another chilled, caffeinated beverage in a glass bottle, which was a Starbucks Frappuccino caramel, because the convenience store I stopped at didn't have any coffee. They were out. It's like, how can you be a convenience store when you don't have coffee? I mean, I worked at 7-Eleven years ago, and we had to make sure the coffee was always piping hot, because I was working graveyard shift, and you had law enforcement coming in that were going to be up all hours of the night patrolling. But yeah, you're starting to see schools come up here. The Lee Memorial Health Park, which is right over there. It used to be Lee Memorial Hospital. Now it's an entire health park. I mean, it looks like a resort. But yeah, and I forgot to mention, I was so excited to do this video. that if you're new to the channel, hit a like, subscribe, leave comments in the box down below, ring the bell for notifications, and tell all your friends and your family, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, your grandma, your grandpa, your pets, your classmates, your roommates, your coworkers, even your boss, if you're in a good mood to talk to him about this channel. But yep, I mean, you got a Presbyterian church right over there. We're at a stoplight right now. It's just funny how things have changed over the years when I come through here. Which, by the way, you know, I'm looking to do these kind of videos, like kind of adventure style videos. Still not over the whole Adam the Woo, you know, passing. YouTube is just not the same without him. And, you know, I made my video the day after Christmas. You know, did a eulogy for him, an homage. But he's in our hearts. He's probably vlogging in heaven, and we've yet to see his vlogs in heaven. But now we're going down this road. It's called Summerlin. Yep, speed limit is 50. I gotta keep it at 50. But yeah, you know, a lot that you see, like right here, that shopping center you see was never there. Nothing you see was here. That goes to show that, you know, the Lee County area is growing within population. Sipping my carbonated, caffeinated beverage. But yeah, you know, you got a Publix over there, shopping center, this racetrack. Hey, look at that. Gas, $2.57 a gallon. Woo-hoo! That's a good thing. Now it's cheaper to fill up Road Trip's tank. All right. There used to be a Burger King right there. I don't know what they're going to do with that place. Again, it's up for sale. I used to go into that Burger King all the time when I was delivering appliances. Working for my dad, delivering appliances and installations. And there's the old classic Denny's Diner, or it used to be, we called it Denny's DC Diner, as in classic diner. They went ahead and made it the 50s theme. You know, when I used to work up at the movie theater in high school, a bunch of us, after hours when we worked late, when we worked till 10:30, we used to go up there for burgers and hot dogs and shakes, you know, just to relay what happened that whole day when we worked together. Sometimes we meet up for breakfast before we went to work during the day, too. Those were some fun times, I'll tell you. Fun times indeed. Now let's see, can I cut into here? All right, we're on Gladiolus, going on to Summerlin. Bye, Denny's Classic Diner. It was always fun. A lot of good times. A lot of fun times. All right, here we are. We're on another drag. Looks like the Suncoast Credit Union Arena. right there at Edison, what used to be called Edison Community College, which is now Edison State College or whatever it is. And they also got the Barbara B. Mann Performing Arts Hall, which has housed many shows, many concerts. I think the last major concert that went through the Barbara B. Mann was Alice Cooper. And I had, as much of a fan of Alice Cooper as I am, I had to miss it because of work obligations. University Grill, I'll have to try them out sometime. We're about to pass up the Publix Plaza. I think it's called University Shopping Center, whatever it is. But a girlfriend of mine was shopping there, and she, at the time, she threw a thing of toothpaste. She had her purse inside the buggy with her food, and she threw a thing of toothpaste in the buggy. And then what happened was they tried to accuse her of shoplifting. They kept her there for about 45 minutes. I remember she came by, cried in my arms about it, how embarrassed she was, and I don't blame her. I mean, I wanted to take matters in my own hands, but she wouldn't let me because she didn't want me to go to jail on assault charges. So they basically trespassed her from that Publix. And that was the end of that. But yep, here we are. We're on Summerlin Road. There's a Suncoast Credit Union Arena. And yep, University Crossing is what it's called. And there's the Publix right there. The infamous Publix where Russell J.S.'s, one of his now ex-girlfriends, was caught shoplifting when she wasn't. Oh, now it's called Southwest Florida State College, not Edison Community College anymore. I actually thought about attending that college at one point, but I listened to people that were telling me otherwise. And here's an icon of Florida and probably all the southern states. There's the Morgan & Morgan building for the people. Yep. I'm sure some of you who live in some of the southern states, if not Florida, possibly in Georgia or Mississippi or Alabama. Yeah, he probably has office buildings like that in your neck of the woods. And look at this. They've yet to tear down that building. I don't know why they haven't yet. It's full of graffiti. Yep. Yeah, I had to put you down for a moment. I saw a speed trap, and we don't want a county deputy, or as they said in Smokey and the Bandit, the county mountie seeing me hold my phone so I could give you shots of things of Fort Myers. You know, I'm actually enjoying doing these videos now because, you know, like bringing you worldly views of places. You know, like it gets me out of the house, and I could talk about how old school some places were, what used to be here. And you know what? I'm glad that I got to take that, you know, mile-long walk that was to and from while I was filming Fast Tracks, because, and plus that's not the only place I knew that was called Fast Track. There was a record store I used to buy my CDs at that my mother approved of called Fast Track Music because they were family friendly. And it looks like they tore down those condos. Up you'll see where there's a blue fenced wall or whatever that, you know, that blue structure is. There was a thing of condos, and they've leveled them completely down. I guess they became a nuisance. I don't know. but they leveled them. They're probably going to make room for new. You know how it goes, out with the old, in with the new. They're probably old and moldy and everything like that anyway, and, you know, weren't properly, you know, taken care of. Who knows? But, you know, they tore them down. All right, here we are. There's the main strip, US 41, also known here as Cleveland Avenue when you go further north. And through all of Florida, it's called the Tamiami Trail because way back when, before they had interstate highways like I-75, I-95, I-4, I-10, they, if you wanted to get from Tampa to Miami, it would take, you had to take this long stretch of road, or if you wanted to go from Miami to Tampa, again, you had to take this stretch of road, and it would pretty much take you all day. I mean, you would have to go ahead and, you know, get up early in the morning. If you lived in Tampa and wanted to go to Miami, you had to get up real early in the morning so you could beat all the traffic and just get on this road. And you would probably arrive there, probably if you left, say, like at 5 in the morning, you'd probably be there by, say, 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Now with the interstate highways, it takes less than the whole day to get you there. I mean, you probably drive a good solid, or maybe it would take you, I don't know, maybe it would take you until about 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night to get from one place to the next. But thanks to the interstate highways, you could get there in less the time. And over there is Pagefield Airport, where for many years, that was the only airport around here where you could, you know, where you could take commercial flights up until the 1980s when they built Fort Myers International Airport. And then by 2005, they had built the RSW Regional, you know, Southwest Regional or Regional Southwest International Airport, which is further down now. But yeah, that would be the only way if you were gonna take a trip by airplane, you know, say with Pan Am or all the other commercial airliners, that's where you went, right there. Now that's mainly an airport for, like, you know, private plane owners and, you know, like, you know, rich people and all that are, you know, visiting. But now, there it is, Pagefield Airport. There's another shopping plaza there, Pagefield Commons. That wasn't there 30 years ago. Again, that was open field. I remember when this was open field as far as the eye could see. Old Man Peabody. Another Back to the Future reference there. But yep, that's going to do it for this video. Remember, you know what to do if you like the video. And please subscribe and help me build this YouTube channel. You know, like I said, tell all your friends. And like I always like to wish you, I like to wish you, you know, keep it fresh, keep it real, keep it chill. Get you enough of love, get you enough of peace, get you enough of tranquility, get you enough of less chaos, no chaos, less drama, no drama. Keep listening to old school music, keep watching old school movies, keep watching old school TV shows, play some old school video games. And as always, I want to wish you Godspeed. May the force be with you always, and shuckalaka kapow. Now, I got to go ahead and concentrate on this road so I don't get into an accident. On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again.